Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Daily English Lab, where learning English is easy and fun. I'm Lily.
Hi, Lily. It is so wonderful to be here with you and all our amazing listeners again today. I'm Henry. Hello, everyone.
Hi, Henry. I have a question for you right now, at this very moment. Are you ready?
Right now? Okay, I am ready. Go ahead.
Henry, what is the population of the moon?
The population of the moon? I don't know.
Perfect. And that is exactly what today's episode is about.
Wait, you set me up perfectly there, Lily.
I did, because today we are talking about one of the most overused phrases in English, a phrase that every single English learner and even many native speakers reaches for automatically in almost every uncertain situation.
And that phrase is I don't know.
Exactly. I don't know. 3 words, completely correct English, but used in the wrong moment or used too often, it can make you sound uncertain, disengaged, or unprepared.
Yes, and in many situations, there are much better options. Options that sound more thoughtful, more professional, more warm, or more natural, depending on the context.
Exactly. So today we are going to replace I don't know with the best possible alternative for every situation. By the end of this episode, you will never need to say I don't know again, unless you are talking about the population of the moon.
Which, for the record, is 0. There are no people living on the moon.
Well, now you know. Before we start, everyone, please remember to subscribe to our channel, Daily English Lab. Click the like button and share this episode with a friend who is learning English. It means everything to us.
It really does. Thank you so much. Okay, Lily, let us start from the beginning. Why is I don't know sometimes not the best answer, even when it is true?
Great question. The problem with I don't know is not that it is wrong. It is that it is a dead end. It stops the conversation. It offers nothing to the other person.
A dead end. That is a great metaphor. A dead-end road goes nowhere. It stops abruptly. And I don't know can feel the same way in a conversation. It just stops everything.
Exactly. Whereas a better phrase keeps the conversation moving. It acknowledges that you do not have the answer while still contributing something useful, something helpful, something warm.
So it is not about pretending to know things you do not know. It is about responding to uncertainty in a more intelligent and more connected way.
Perfectly said. Now, let us go through the situations one by one. The first situation is when someone asks you a factual question and you genuinely do not have the answer.
Like the moon population question.
Exactly. In that situation, instead of just, I don't know, you can say, that is a good question. Let me think about that.
That is a good question. Let me think about that. That is such a classic and effective response. Why does it work so well?
Because it does 2 things at once. First, it validates the question. It tells the person their question is interesting and worth thinking about. Second, it buys you time. Let me think about that signals that you are engaging with the question. You are not dismissing it.
And it makes you sound thoughtful, not uncertain, not unprepared, just careful, like you take the question seriously enough to actually think before answering.
Yes, and another great option for the same situation is I am not entirely sure, but I think it might be something like this.
I am not entirely sure. That is softer than I don't know. What is the difference?
I don't know implies zero knowledge, complete absence of information. But I am not entirely sure implies you have some idea. You have partial knowledge. You are just not 100% confident. It leaves room for you to offer something.
That is such a subtle but important distinction. I am not entirely sure, but I think it might be positions you as someone who has thought about it, not someone who has no idea at all.
Exactly. And the but I think it might be part is crucial. It keeps the conversation going. It offers a starting point, even if it is not the definitive answer.
What is another option for factual uncertainty?
A very natural and honest option is I could not say for certain, but my understanding is that.
I could not say for certain. That is a very polished phrase. It sounds professional and considered.
Yes, it acknowledges the limits of your knowledge without sounding ignorant. I could not say for certain, but my understanding is that the meeting starts at 3. Very natural in professional environments.
Now, let us move to the second situation. Someone asks for your opinion on something you have not thought about before. You are caught off guard, and your first instinct is to say, I don't know.
Yes, this happens so often. Someone asks, "What do you think about this idea?" or "Which option do you prefer?" and you genuinely have not formed an opinion yet.
Instead of I don't know, what do we say?
You can say, "That is an interesting one. I have not really thought about it that way before."
That is an interesting one. Again, validating the question, and I have not really thought about it that way before signals that the question has opened a new perspective for you. It is honest and it is curious.
Yes, and another great option is, "I am still forming my opinion on that one, honestly."
I am still forming my opinion. That is so much more sophisticated than I don't know. It says you are an active thinker. Your opinion is in process. It is being formed right now.
Yes, still forming implies forward movement. You are not stuck, you are not empty, you are thinking, you are in the middle of deciding.
And the word honestly at the end adds authenticity. It signals that you are being real with them, not giving a diplomatic non-answer, but genuinely sharing where you are.
Exactly. And if you want to invite a real conversation, you can say, "I am not sure yet. What do you think? I would love to hear your take on it first."
Your take on it. That is a great casual phrase. Your take means your perspective, your point of view. What is your take on this situation?
Yes, and "I would love to hear your take first" is brilliant because it turns the conversation back to the other person. It shows genuine interest, and it also gives you more information to help you form your own opinion.
That is such a smart conversational move. If you are enjoying this episode, do not forget to like the video and subscribe to Daily English Lab. And if you are still listening right now, comment the words "I don't know" below. We want to see who is here with us replacing this phrase today.
Yes, please comment. We love reading every single one. Now let us talk about the third situation. Someone asks you for directions or practical information, and you genuinely do not know the answer.
Yes, like a tourist asking you which way to the train station in a city you do not know very well.
Exactly. Instead of just "I don't know" with a shrug, you can say, "I am afraid I am not the best person to ask about that. I do not know this area very well."
I am afraid I am not the best person to ask? That is such a graceful and helpful response. Why is it better than I don't know?
Because it explains why you do not know. It is not that you are unhelpful. It is that you genuinely lack local knowledge, and it implicitly suggests they should ask someone else, someone better placed to help.
And I am afraid is a softening phrase here. It does not mean you are scared. It means I am sorry to say this. I regret that I cannot help more fully. Very polite and very British in feel.
Yes, "I am afraid I cannot make it to the meeting. I am afraid I do not have that information." It is a very elegant way to deliver disappointing news without being abrupt.
And you can follow it up with, but you might want to try asking someone at the information desk. Or your best bet would be to check Google Maps.
Your best bet. That is a great expression. Your best bet means your best option, your most likely chance of success. Your best bet is to call them directly. Your best bet would be to arrive early.
Yes, and by offering an alternative even when you do not have the answer, you still show helpfulness and care. You haven't just abandoned them with, I don't know.
Exactly. Now, let us look at the fourth situation. Someone asks you something in a professional or work setting, a meeting, a presentation, or a formal conversation where you do not know the answer.
Oh, this is an important one. Because saying I don't know in a professional setting can sometimes damage your credibility, your confidence in the eyes of others.
Yes, but the good news is that not knowing something in a professional setting is completely normal and even respected if you handle it the right way.
So what do you say?
The best professional response is, "That is a great question. I want to make sure I give you the right answer, so let me look into that and get back to you."
Let me look into that and get back to you. That is such a powerful professional phrase. What makes it so effective?
3 things. First, it takes the question seriously. Second, it commits to action. Look into it means you will research and investigate. Third, it promises a follow-up. Get back to you means you will return with the answer. It turns "I don't know" into a professional commitment.
Turning uncertainty into a commitment, that is exactly what separates confident professionals from uncertain ones. Not knowing is fine. Knowing what to do when you don't know is what matters.
Beautifully said, Henry. And another excellent professional option is, I want to double check that before I give you a definitive answer.
Double check. To verify something a second time to make sure it is correct. I want to double check the figures. Let me double check the schedule.
Yes, and saying I want to double check implies you have some knowledge, but you want to be thorough. It signals care and accuracy rather than ignorance.
It says, I take accuracy seriously. I do not guess with important information. I verify. Very impressive in a professional context.
Yes, and a third professional option is, that falls slightly outside my area of expertise, but I know exactly who you should speak to about that.
Outside my area of expertise. That is so elegant. It honestly acknowledges your limitation while simultaneously positioning you as someone with good professional awareness.
Yes, and I know exactly who you should speak to transforms the situation completely. You did not have the answer, but you know where the answer lives. That is incredibly valuable in any organization.
Knowing where the answer lives. I love that phrase. It means you understand the landscape of knowledge around you, even when you do not personally hold the information.
Now, let us talk about the fifth situation. Someone asks you a personal question about yourself, and you genuinely are not sure how you feel or what you think.
Like when someone asks, what do you want to do with your life? Or what kind of relationship are you looking for? Big personal questions that do not have simple answers.
Yes, and just saying I don't know to those questions can seem closed off or unself-aware. But the truth is, many of these questions are genuinely complex and take time to answer.
So how do we respond?
You can say, honestly, I am still figuring that out, and I think that is okay.
I am still figuring that out, and I think that is okay. That second part is so important. Why?
Because it validates the uncertainty. It says not knowing is not a failure. It is a normal part of being human. And I think that is okay shows self-acceptance. You are comfortable with the process of figuring things out. That is actually a sign of emotional maturity.
Emotional maturity. The ability to tolerate uncertainty without becoming anxious or defensive. To sit comfortably with not knowing and trust that the answer will come with time.
Exactly. And another beautiful response for personal uncertainty is, that is something I am actively thinking about. I do not have a clear answer yet, but it is on my mind.
It is on my mind. That phrase from our earlier episode about feelings. It means something is occupying your thoughts. You are working on it internally, even without a conclusion.
That is so relatable and so honest. I should probably know, but I've never really looked into it. It is humble, self-aware, and charming all at the same time.
It removes any pretension. You are not claiming ignorance is acceptable. You are acknowledging a gap in your knowledge with a smile and a little self-deprecation.
Self-deprecation means gently making fun of yourself, being humble and a little playful about your own limitations. British people are famously good at self-deprecation. It is considered charming and approachable.
Yes, I should probably know, but I never looked into it, is a very self-deprecating phrase, and that is exactly why it works. It makes the other person feel comfortable, not judged, not lectured, just human.
And a final casual option for this situation is, your guess is as good as mine, honestly.
Your guess is as good as mine. That is such a classic expression. What does it mean?
Yes, and actively thinking about signals intention and engagement, not passive emptiness. You are working on the question. You just have not arrived at the answer yet.
Now, let us look at the sixth and final situation. Someone asks you a question in casual conversation, and you want to express genuine curiosity rather than blunt ignorance.
Yes, for example, a friend asks, do you know why the sky is blue? Or do you know how bread rises?
And instead of, I don't know, you want to show curiosity and interest.
Yes, you can say, actually, I have always wondered about that. Do you know?
I have always wondered about that. That is so much more engaging than "I don't know." It turns your uncertainty into shared curiosity. You are not empty, you are curious.
Yes, and "do you know" at the end invites the other person to share their knowledge. It creates a moment of connection and mutual learning.
Another great casual option is "that is one of those things I should probably know, but I have never really looked into it."
It means we are equally in the dark about this. Neither of us knows more than the other. It levels the playing field. It creates a sense of shared uncertainty that is actually quite bonding.
Yes, when two people share an "I don't know" moment together, it can actually bring them closer because it is honest and it is equal. No one is above the other. We are both just figuring it out.
Exactly. Now, let us do a complete review of every phrase we learned today so our listeners have a full toolkit to replace "I don't know" in any situation.
For factual uncertainty, that is a good question. Let me think about that. I am not entirely sure, but I think it might be. I could not say for certain, but my understanding is that.
For opinion uncertainty, that is an interesting one. I have not really thought about it that way. I am still forming my opinion on that, honestly. I'm not sure yet. What is your take on it?
For practical information, I am afraid I am not the best person to ask. Your best bet would be to, "I do not know this area very well, but you might want to try."
For professional settings, let me look into that and get back to you. I want to double check that before I give you a definitive answer. That falls outside my area of expertise, but I know exactly who you should speak to.
For personal questions, I am still figuring that out, and I think that is okay. That is something I am actively thinking about. I do not have a clear answer yet, but it is on my mind.
For casual curiosity, I have always wondered about that. Do you know? That is one of those things I should probably know, but I have never looked into it. Your guess is as good as mine, honestly.
That is an incredible toolkit. 6 situations, 18 expressions, all natural, all native, all infinitely better than "I don't know."
Yes, and the common thread through all of them is that they keep the conversation moving. They show engagement, they show honesty, and they show respect for the person asking.
Because when you respond well to a question you cannot answer, you are not showing weakness. You are showing intelligence. You are showing character.
Exactly. For our question of the day, we want you to practice right now in the comments. Someone asks you, what do you think the future of English learning looks like? Write your answer using one of today's phrases instead of "I don't know."
For example, that is an interesting one. I am still forming my opinion on that, honestly. Or, your guess is as good as mine, but I think technology will play a huge role.
We cannot wait to read every single answer. If this episode helped you, please subscribe to Daily English Lab. Give this video a big thumbs up and share it with a friend who says, "I don't know" a little too often.
We all know someone. Keep practicing, keep learning, keep growing. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye. See you in the next episode.